tear and made-up smile. To see the truth will take a while. Sadness shows on the young face. He takes her first steps into a new place. Scars will heal quicker than the heart is searching for that missing part.
Welcome to the July edition of Cry Me a Torch Song, the video version. We've got a summer special of new and recent releases this month. I'm Piers Ford, and we've just been listening to Violet, which is a track from Hafdís Huld's captivating new album, Dare to Dream Small. This is the Icelandic singer's fourth studio record, and it really points out the crystalline purity of her voice in a significantly different direction. There's a set of songs that suggests a new reckoning, a coming to terms with life's complexities, an infuriating capacity to fracture our expectations. This is an album which acknowledges the power of small victories and realizations, and the satisfaction that we actually can take from them in a world which seems obsessed with catching people out and highlighting our constant failure to be perfect, all our shortcomings. Huld's lyrics are delicately meditative and questioning. She doesn't promise any answers, but she just works through the value of living in that particular moment. So inevitably, the liberation of acceptance trails a touch of melancholy in its wake, and it's this which gives her songs the texture that makes them so appealing, I think. At times, listening to this, I'm reminded of a young Françoise Hardy, the deceptive fragility of a voice which is gently teasing some profound truths out of the story she's telling, against a backdrop of subtle strings and guitar riffs. Here's the closing track, By Now, a different kind of breakup song, which accepts the empty space, the fact that it was the right thing to do, and also the lingering sadness.
I want this to be goodbye. Don't want you to try anymore. It should have come easily. Merged into you and me.
So from Iceland to Italy, and the enduring voice of Alice, whose recording career now spans 4 decades, and frankly, who sounds better than ever. As a solo artist, Alice has created a vast musical landscape, rich with diverse classical, rock, jazz and pop influences. Her work is studied with notable collaborations, which have regularly helped her to explore new directions, but the most significant is probably her creative partnership with the idiosyncratic composer Franco Battiato, which has been responsible for many standout moments. Eurovision fans, of course, will remember them joining forces for Italy in 1984 with the dramatic ballad I treni di Tozeur. For my money, still the finest song not to have won the competition. Indeed, I think it was probably just too good to win. But it showcased Alice's stylish and compelling stage presence and embodied the turbulent undercurrents which have always defined her music. In 2016, she and Battiato came together again for a symphonic concert tour. This album, Live in Roma, captures the electricity that they still generate as a musical team. With a DVD included, the album is certainly a polished production. Alas, there's no sign of I treni di Tozeur, but we do have live versions of some of Alice's signature songs, including this, another slice of beautifully brooding drama, Prospettiva Nevsky.
Un vento a 30 gradi sotto zero incontrastato sulle piazze vuote contro i campanili, a tratti come raffiche di mitra, disintegrava i cumuli di neve e intorno ai fuochi delle guardie rosse accesi per scacciare i lupi e vecchie coi rosari. E intorno ai fuochi delle guardie rosse accesi per scacciare i lupi e vecchi coi rosari.
Now, I really like it when somebody just comes across my blog and asks if I consider reviewing an album. It's such a great way to discover new voices. And that's how Susan Wong's fifth studio record, Woman in Love, found its way into my review pile. Hong Kong-born Susan spent her formative years in Australia, but returned to the city where she has built her career as a recording artist, and a following these days that seems to extend well beyond Southeast Asia. It's easy to hear why. These pristine treatments of some well-loved classic numbers by great contemporary female singers really stands out. It's a celebration which references Streisand, Olivia Newton-John, Rihanna, Annie Lennox, Joni Mitchell, and naturally Adele, representatives from every era of modern pop music. But songs like Both Sides Now, Dionne Warwick's Heartbreaker, Bob Dylan's Make You Feel My Love, which was one of Adele's signature numbers before she scaled the super heights of balladry, they're all given a sensitive, subtle treatment here. Wong's pure, unfussy vocal technique is a refreshing antidote to the excesses of far too many song reinventions. And there isn't a millennial whoop in sight, thank heavens. Here's her astringent take on Annie Lennox's Miracle of Love, from an album that's well worth tracking down if you like your pop classics done with sensitive simplicity.
Try to hide in a world of illusion that's covering your mind. I'll show you something good. Oh, I'll show you something good. When you open your mind, you discover the sign that there's something you're longing to find. The miracle of love will take away your pain.
Well, finally to confession time. I must admit I didn't get around to reviewing Gretchen Peters' Blackbirds when it first landed on my desk back in early 2015. But to be honest, it's been a constant companion ever since. So I'd like to take this opportunity to put that omission right. And if I can draw a few more people's attention to this superlative, searingly truthful and honest record about loss, mortality, brutal and gentle, laden with contemporary social references which only seem to increase in relevance as the months go by, then so much the better. I'm sorry if that sounds a little bit heavy, but Gretchen Peters' supreme skill is to write songs that combine delicate, insistent harmonies with expressive lyrics that suddenly reach up through the surface and snap you into the reality of the story. She's unsparing in her honesty. I can't think of another singer-songwriter currently working who sustains that ability so consistently and effectively. I do remember writing that her previous album, Hello Cruel World, might be unsurpassable in its nailing of uncomfortable truths. But Blackbirds is, if anything, an even more complete piece of work. From the title track, with its dark references to crime in the Deep South, to the guitar-driven simmering rage of When All You Got Is a Hammer, to the fading light of The Cure for the Pain. I think it's an album that absorbs you utterly in the experience of our times. So I'll sign off for now with my favourite track, the aching beauty of Everything Falls Away. And we'll be back in September with a bonus edition looking ahead to some autumn releases.
Wasn't a cloud in the sky when the news arrived. Just another bluebird day. Just a voice on the phone saying I'm sorry. Everything falls away.